Welcome, Dharma warrior. In this space, we walk the path of truth with steady hearts, protect what is sacred, and choose peace without abandoning strength. Breathe in presence, breathe out resistance. Let's begin.
Before we begin, I'd like to introduce you to Eve. I actually met Eve after recording this episode, but I just had to come back and include her before sharing this completely with you. Eve drives the garbage truck shown behind in the photo. Einstein got his little cameo too. And more importantly, Eve helps keep our city clean. After sharing what today's episode was all about in line for our Sunday morning coffees, she smiled, subscribed to Dharma Warriors, and we snapped this photo together. Sometimes the quiet heroes are the ones we pass by every single day without really ever noticing or acknowledging. So today's episode is dedicated to all the service workers who quietly help keep our communities clean. Thank you. Now let's begin. Today, Einstein and I went for our usual walk, about 2.36 kilometers, roughly around 22 soccer fields if anyone's keeping score. Pretty ordinary, or so I thought. One thing I've learned is that ordinary days usually have the greatest lessons hidden inside of them. Most days I'm completely immersed in nature. I'm always hoping to spot the stoic heron gliding overhead, the red-tailed hawks circling in silence, dragonflies dancing across the trail, and the ducks completely unbothered by Einstein and I. And if you've listened to previous episodes, you already know every creature I encounter somehow reflects a lesson back to me. Some of you might be thinking, who does this girl actually think she is? Pocahontas? Snow White? And honestly, maybe a little. Because I do believe nature is magical. I believe we're constantly being taught if we're just willing to slow down long enough to notice. Today, though, nature had a different teacher waiting for me. Garbage. Everywhere. Coffee cups, cigarette butts, beer cans, food wrappers, tissues, and this wasn't even after Canada Day. It was just a regular Thursday morning. We have become a society of litter bugs. Now, before somebody gets all excited, I know I didn't pick it up either today. I had Einstein attached to one hand, coffee in the other, so today I was a little short-handed to become the neighborhood cleanup crew. Although I have to admit, I do think I'll strongly consider picking up other people's garbage on another day. Today's assignment, though, was simply to observe and be pensive. Because frankly, once you notice something, you can't unsee it. And that's when I started contemplating even deeper. What does this actually say about us? Not about one person, but about us. How did we become so comfortable making our mess somebody else's responsibility? And listen, every time I carry a warm bag of Einstein's poop, which, by the way, I find slightly humiliating every single time until I find the next garbage can, I honestly can't understand why someone can't carry an empty Tim Hortons cup just another 100 feet. Is it laziness, complacency, or maybe both? And here's where my mind wandered even further, because it always does. We don't only do this with garbage. We do it with everything. Either subconsciously or literally, we tell ourselves, oh, somebody else can speak up. Somebody else will volunteer. Somebody else will help. Somebody else can fix it. Somebody else will get that. Somebody else will protect nature. Somebody else, somebody else, somebody else. Until eventually, nobody does it unless it's their job and getting paid for it. So then I switched gears and thought about salmon. I know, we're talking about fish now. But stay with me, because it's the same walk and the same credit river I walk by so frequently. Only this time, I wasn't just seeing a river anymore. The power in this thought isn't that salmon swim upstream, which is clearly contrary to the norm. It's the power in what they endure. Think about their journey to return back home. They hatch in fresh water, swim downstream to spend years in the ocean to grow and mature, and then something calls them home. Kind of like a human spiritual awakening. Sound familiar? They swim thousands of kilometers against the current, leap waterfalls, climb rivers that seem impossible, stop eating, their bodies begin to break down, they scrape themselves against rocks until they're bleeding. Many never make it, and yet they do all of this to lay their eggs, continue their legacy, and then die. But their species continues. All this effort for these beautiful fish, and then here comes the humans and make it even more challenging. Let's build another dam, add another obstacle, create more barriers, not because nature required it, but because we did. Without thinking of anyone's needs but our own, we inadvertently sabotage another's life's journey. We admire nature with our words while making it infinitely harder through our actions. Every salmon that reaches its destination has earned that moment. Not because the river was easy, but because the salmon was willing to struggle for life itself. Maybe the question isn't whether salmon are resilient. Maybe it's whether we've forgotten to respect that resilience. Would they willingly swim through polluted water if they had the choice? Of course not, and neither would we. I could only imagine your face if you invited me over for dinner and I dump a bag full of garbage in the middle of your living room just before we sat in the next room to eat. Somehow we've become perfectly comfortable creating exactly just that. Well, it's not where I live. It's not where I eat. But in reality, it affects what we eat, need I remind? It's not just in our parks or rivers that this occurs, but in our communities, our conversations, our attitudes, our habits. Every tiny decision either makes life a little easier, a little harder, or even more distasteful, uglier for the people and creatures coming after us. And that's the part that hit me. We spend so much time asking, why is the world like this? While quietly contributing to the very thing that we're complaining about. Maybe changing the world doesn't take a big plan or fundraising event where we only donate our time and efforts for a few hours. Maybe it starts with carrying your garbage to the next bin without fail. Maybe it starts by picking up somebody else's. Maybe it starts by choosing that as an individual, we choose not to make life harder for everyone around us. Funny enough, today's greatest lesson wasn't hidden inside a random animal sighting. It was hidden in plain garbage. Who would have thought? So the next time you head outside, look up, look around, and look down. Life is constantly trying to teach us something. When I say I want to be just like the salmon, I mean resilient, tenacious, ever so courageous. Their entire life cycle reminds us just how much they depend on us to protect the habitat that they call home. The cleaner the water, the better chance they have to thrive, while continuing to feed us in return. Every scar on a salmon tells the story of life refusing to give up. So to you, the human listening, keep going, even when it hurts, even when it seems impossible. And on that note, if you have a free hand, pick up some damn garbage. Until we meet again, walk with courage, lead with compassion, and protect your peace.
We are all the same but different.